Good morning, my beautiful brothers and sisters. How's everybody feeling this morning? I want to thank each and every one of you. I feel great this morning. I could feel this pressure lifting off me mid-morning at work. Just started bouncing around and full of energy, full of life. And that right there, you guys, is the power of prayer. We have to believe that. You have to have faith in that, you guys. There's no point in praying if you don't believe that it works. That's the bottom line. Because the reason for the prayer is a showing of faith. And through faith, all things are possible, you guys. All things. Watching Brother Steven, Machine Monkey, put out a video last night. Brother, I appreciate you, man. You're a good man. He was sharing a little bit of insight on how God speaks to him. And it was put on my spirit to think about how he speaks to me. And how does he speak to you guys? And when I pray on it, I see all this, just for every person, there's a different way. Tweaked one way or another, according to who you are. Just like we all bring our piece of the puzzle to the picture, I believe that our Father communicates with us all in different ways. And it's to show that although we are all special, different, unique, we're all one and the same. You should see how foggy out it is, you guys. It's awesome. Back on track, William. So Brother Steve was showing us how he gets his insight. And I see pictures, you guys, like a motion picture in my head, just little clips of information. And I hear him in my spirit. I've been working on it for a long time. I remember being young, and having a conversation with God and feeling there was a distinct difference. And I could hear in my spirit that I was going to be told that through science that it wasn't him. And I didn't quite understand this when I was young. And sure enough, in class, and this is years later in high school, we learned about id, ego, and superego, the different parts of your consciousness. It came back to me. This exact conversation that I had. And we all have had that invisible friend or that make-believe friend. I don't believe that's make-believe, you guys. I know it's not. I saw a video the other day of this baby talking. Not really a baby, maybe 2 or 3 years old, and Mom had him on camera and said, "Who are you talking to?" And the toddler said, "God." And the mother, you could tell by her reaction, was blown away. And so we all have our different ways, and like I said, I see these pictures, and again, this whole protesting thing that's going on, like, it's all over the earth. There's this massive sense of unrest, you guys, and I'm just trying to put my finger on it, and it keeps coming up. And so finally I saw this picture, and what it is that Hegelian dialectic, where a problem is specifically created so that an answer can be introduced, a new way. And if you're the system and you want to flush out God's people, if you're the system and you want to see who opposes you, how do you find that out? How do you know? When it's time and you're ready to roll out the next part of your plan, but you want to see, okay, who's going to oppose this? How do you figure out who's going to come against you? Well, you create the problem to get that answer. And so what do? Like any other problem that's ever happened since we've been here, anytime any generation's ever revolted against anything, what was it a result of? Well, that's because the good people that have decided to run our land for us have pushed us too far to where we've said enough, and therefore we've put the boots on and gone to the ground. And so it's the same cause and effect every single time. They push too far, then we push back. They push too far, then we push back. But do you think this is by accident, you guys? Like, have you guys sat and thought, why is the whole earth in unrest right now? Well, yes, everybody is lost. Everybody knows something is coming, and that something, that someone is Jesus Christ. But for the ones that are lost that don't know, they don't know what it is yet. And so, how do you find out who's willing to oppose you? Well, you cause a situation so that there's unrest. And then what do? It's a giant census taking, you guys. These mandates, the protests toward the mandates, the trucker convoy, everything is all so that license plates can be documented, so that numbers can be counted, so that organizers can be sorted out, whether it be through the algorithms of social media. Do you think social media was created so that we could all share with one another? Do you think that YouTube was created so that we could get on here and speak? No. It's so that they can monitor what we're saying, who's saying it, how many are saying it, and so that they can have an idea of, okay, well, when we roll out the next part of the plan that we know they really won't like, how many people are actually going to boots on the ground come against us, and are we ready for that? Do they have a presence on their side capable, or the equipment necessary so that they can maintain it, contain it, but more importantly, be able to convince the rest of those that are okay with it that what they're doing is all right? That is going to be the key point, you guys. That when they finally move into the full-blown persecution of us, they have to be able to convince society that it is for the better good, and that their conscience will be okay with it. Because at the end of the day, every single one of us is God's creation. So we're going to have that conscience of always wanting to do the right thing, unless we've picked a side and have been conditioned to do otherwise. And if the fruit is right, as I think it is right now, then people are getting close to that point where they're okay. Right now, I see my province is the first province to lift all mandates. And people are upset. And God gave me this vision of taking the training wheels off the bike. So good old, dad government has said, okay, I had your training wheels on there for 2 years. Well, let's take them off. Let's see how they ride their bikes by themselves. And here we are. You got half the population that's like, no, I'm not ready to give up this mask. I'm not ready to open my doors to everyone. They might have cooties. So they've done their job. They've conditioned enough fear into most of the population so that they can pull back their restrictions, and they want to do it on their own. That, brothers and sisters, is that spiritual decision. When government steps back and allows you to make a choice, allows you to give authority to which side you want to be on, that's when the ball starts rolling here, you guys. And so now we've got half of my province that's like, wait a minute. And then we've got the other half. Well, what do we have, you guys? We still have divide right down the middle. And now government can step back and wait, what? It's not us, it's you. Look it, we did our part, we tried to help you out, and we decided to step back, and you guys still, decided to fight amongst yourselves. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. think that's all by accident, you guys? Nothing's by accident. Nothing. Not a one thing. And so now that they've got it sorted out, I think in Ottawa now, it's going on 12 or 13 days where those truckers are there. I'm pretty sure the AI algorithms and all the cameras that you see around every major city has got that number sorted out on how many, who they are, and with enough time to go through all their social media sites, all their banking information. You see, every time we give authority, whether it be a driver's license or insurance or whatever, a health card, that is allowing the system to use your information to paint a picture of who you are. The same with these phones or computer. So YouTube, do you think it's coincidence that it knows what video to bring up to you next? Well, no, because it's created a profile. It knows exactly who you are. So when you watch something silly like a cat video, it throws that algorithm up for a second, and then you start getting a couple cat videos. Well, eventually over time, as soon as you stop watching them, well, it'll get back on track again. But it knows exactly. It has that digital profile of exactly who you are. Now, is any of this for cause of concern or fear? Absolutely not. The message here today, you guys, is do not be a part of it. My wife has embraced it fully, and my instruction from Jesus Christ is to step back and be there as a support system for my wife so that she comes to this realization through him on her own and not through me. The more I push, the harder she pushes back. And we all know that at this point, you guys. Sometimes the enemy gets the best of me and I do open my mouth. I'm really good at that. And I repent for that. So we need to step back and be that loving, supporting role. And I'm going to give you an example to show you that what's happening in Ottawa is not the right thing. And although they're not being violent, there is a sense of aggression to it because it is upsetting people. And I know you're going to have people that are saying, well, you shouldn't be sugarcoating the preaching, or you shouldn't be sugarcoating, sometimes a little bit of force is... No. When the guards came to come get Jesus and Peter cut off the guard's ear, what did Jesus do? He rebuked it instantly, right away, and said, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. And what did he do? He took it a step further. He healed the man's ear and still was taken away by the guards to be crucified. So bear that in mind, brothers and sisters, in everything that we do, in everything that we are. That one of many examples. We cannot use evil against evil. It doesn't work. It's still evil. That's the whole two wrongs don't make a right. And it's true. So we have to be that loving example that Jesus wants us to be from start to finish, you guys. And the enemy's been watching you. He's been observing you. He's got a profile on you. Don't think that he doesn't, because he does. So therefore, he knows what buttons to try and push to get you riled up. And I will admit, I will be the first one to admit, my buttons have been pushed many a time over the last 2 years, to the point where I've said things that I'm not proud of. But glory be to God. We have a Savior that loves us so much, that loves to gently take us by our hand and walk us through the fire. So, brothers and sisters, love thy neighbor as thyself. Trumps all, you guys. Love trumps all. Don't ever forget that. So either way, I just wanted to say I love you all, each and every one of you. Thank you for your prayer. Prayer does work. I instantly felt lifted up. Glory be to God. Have an amazing day, you guys. Stay blessed. Keep studying. And Father willing, we will chat soon. Take care, guys.